Hello everyone. Based on some requests from different research students, especially undergraduate and masters, I wanted to make a video on the research on the dissertation components. So that means the chapters that we are supposed to write in a dissertation. So this would be, as we know, um, the dissertation itself a big issue. A research is a big issue. So we are not going too much deeper, but I would try to give an overview of different components from the beginning to the end of the dissertation. So to begin with, why research? Just to get some motivation from this, why do we need to research? Why do you need to prepare dissertation? Research is fundamental for driving the humanity forward. Um, if you look at around you, each and everything that you can see today is is the output of some kind of research, right? So day by day, we are doing research in different fields and develop new things, find new products, design new products, design new structure, new process. So so day by day, we are going forward based on the research. If you look if you look at the experience during the COVID, especially in the developed countries, the researchers actually guiding the country what to do, what not to do, whether should you go for lockdown. So all these kind of policies and advice actually came from the researchers. Research obviously is very innovative and interesting career. You are learning, and we are learning, each and everyone who is involved in some kind of research. We are learning new things every day. So there is nothing boring in there. Every day we are innovating. Every day we are learning some new things. And obviously, another important purpose of research or the significance of research is solving problems. We are facing many different kind of problems in different phases of our life. So if we want to solve those problems effectively, efficiently, we need to do more research. Maybe there are some solutions, but it can be advanced. It can be solved in many different ways and much more efficient way, cost effective way. We can create more comfort if we do more research. And obviously, another significant purpose is um, based on research we get new knowledge, expand our knowledge, create new knowledge, right? You can see, based on the existing research we are creating, we are using different existing research to create new knowledge, new findings, new solutions, for in different disciplines. Research gives us the latest information, what's happening currently now, right, in that particular context, what we should do now. Yeah. And also we can understand better the complex problem. We can go deeper into the issue if we do more research. So what is actually a research? We can solve many things in different way, but if we want to say this is a research, it should be it should be solved, it should be done, it should be completed in a systematic way. So the research is a systematic process of an inquiry, or is an investigation. We are investigating something. We are using the existing data. We collect the data. We collect the opinions, and then analyze those, interpret those, and obviously to do this, we should follow a specific, robust, suitable methodologies. A specific, as we mentioned before, it should be a systematic process of doing the work of research. And the method can differ between the disciplines, between the problem that we are solving, the investigation, what the investigation we are doing. So, but the method that we are applying should be acceptable in the discipline, in the field. So the research should be a kind of a process, longer term, or it depends how long it should be, depending on the topic or the research questions or the problem that we are trying to solve. But it should take some time to do the job systematically, following a robust, comprehensive, reliable, suitable methodologies, right? Based on the existing data or the information or the opinion of the relevant people, right? All of the observation and find out some solutions, finding something new, innovative, something, innovating something, and contributing in the field of research, in the literature, in the policy, in the theories. This is what is the research. So the research can be of different types. So you should think about the issue that you want to explore, you want to design, you want to pursue. But it can be a conceptual, it can be a theoretical research, or it can be an applied, more practical research, solving the practical problem, finding out the solution of an issue. So in case of theoretical, conceptual, argumentative research is kind of an explanatory, exploratory, or what is called the writing, narratives of writing, narrating the issues, argumenting the issues or the problems. This is what based on the purpose. Is it just we are writing in narrations, or we are trying to solve any particular problem in the practical field? Um, depth of analysis, according to depth of analysis, research can be of four different types. It can be exploratory, so you are exploring something new, um, so a new insight of a particular field, of a particular issue. And also we can define or describe an issue, right? An artifact. What is it, right? How it look like, something like this. And also it can be explanatory research, why this is acting something like this in this situation, right? So what can happen in future, why is this the case, right? Giving some justification. So this is kind of explanatory, explaining why is this the case, why is happening something like this, why it is reacting or responding in this manner, something like this. And number four, it can be correlational research, and obviously this is very common, we can see in our business field, where we can see the relationship between different variables, independent variable, dependent variables, and we see what are the factors influencing a particular issue, how it is influencing, to what extent it is influencing, impact of the issue, relationship between the variables of all different issues. Um, we can explore. Based on the data that we use, the research can be classified into three. It can be qualitative, it can be quantitative, or it can be mixed. As we say, the theoretical, narrative research, argumentative research, the qualitative research, where we use the narrations, opinions, arguments, justifications, um, based on opinions, is qualitative research. But quantitative, where we use numbers, we transform the opinion or the contents into numbers and prove using the numbers, analyzing those numbers in using statistical tools, and then we prove whether it is accepted or rejected, whether anything influencing anything or not influencing anything, if it is influencing, to what extent it is influencing. So based on numbers, so we take some hypothesis, right? um, and then we justify, test the theories, test our arguments, test our opinion based on numbers, numerical analysis. And in some cases, you can see the combination of qualitative and quantitative together. As a part of the analysis is quant, and the other part is qualitative analysis. Just to give an understanding, what are the kind of research, how you can, and obviously what type of research it would be, it depends on the research questions that you want to explore. The research questions, yeah, a research question can be proved, can be answered based on qualitative and quantitative, both way. But there are something that it is more kind of qualitative in nature. We should, if you want to say something, why, how it is happening, it is better to go to qualitative way. Yeah. So it depends what kind of question you are going to explore. Based on that, you should choose how you can do it. And obviously, depending on the availability of the data, of the resources, and the capability of the resource, many things we need to consider. So let's see the basic differences between qualitative and quantitative research. As I just mentioned, if it is why question or how question, it is better to go, it's supposed to be qualitative. If it is what question, what is this, what is the nature of this, what is the impact, something like this, it's better to go, it should be quantitative in nature. In case of qualitative, it should be it is interpretivism paradigm. Why, how, to find out the reasons behind this, interpreting the reality, right? In case of quantitative, it is positivism, right? That's just we show what is this, right? We just explore what's the reason. The design in case of qualitative is flexible, is emerging, it can change, it depends on many things. It depends on the guidelines of the university, it depends on the journal guidance, or it depends on the choice of the researcher as well. But in case of quantitative, it's kind of well structured, predetermined. So these are the things you have to do, these are the things you are supposed to write, you should put in there. In case of qualitative, we should use the words, narratives, and interpretations. But in case of quant, it should be numbers and statistical analysis. It should be the vice versa. Yeah. And in case of scope, there are multiple realities continually challenge or change the interpretations. But in case of quant, it is single reality that can be measured and generalized. In case of quantitative, we test the theory, whether it is true, whether it is accepted or rejected. But in case of qual, it is we develop the theory, expand the theory. In case of qualitative, it is kind of complex and broad in nature. But in case of quant, it is kind of concise and narrow, right? It is inductive, right, by research, but it is deductive from the population. So we get the whole population, get a sample, and justify whether it is that what is the case, is accepted or rejected. But in case of qualitative, it is inductive. So we study a case and then we say, yes, this is what the reality for the whole population. Sample size usually is small and purposeful, but it should be representational and large in case of quantitative research. How we can collect data? In case of qualitative, we need interview data, opinion, observations. We can analyze the documents, right? Existing research. These are the things we can use as data. But in case of quant, we should collect. We can do survey, questionnaire survey, scale, test, or databases. There are many databases available where we can find the data. So I'll show you later what are the sources we can use for qual and quantitative sources of information. In case of finally, the findings is comprehensive and descriptive, detailed and holistic. In case of in case of in case of qualitative study, but in case of quant, it is very precise, and we use some numerical analysis, numerical presentation of the findings. So more practical thing. If you start a research, how to start a study. Okay, so we should the first and foremost thing, we need to find the relevant literature, the papers, the research, the thesis that has already been done on a particular issue that we want to explore. So you just determine, okay, I want to study this particular issue, okay, pricing policy, whatever, or dividend policy of this kind of enterprise, whatever the issue that we want to explore. You can just determine, okay, what's your interest? Yeah, so this is the kind of issue that I want to see. Okay, environmental or pollution is my interest. So how can I explore different kind of pollution, right? What is the impact of pollution? Whatever. So whatever the interest, whatever the topic or the issue interests you. So in relation to that, you need to find out relevant literature. What's the paper or the research has been published, has been done recently, right? Most recent is obviously is the better, but you can go a little bit further as well. So what do we have to do? We need to explore and identify these, find out this research, and then we should read and understand them and try to, we should be inquisitive, right? We should be curious. We should try to find out why this is the case, what's happening, what is impacting what, right? Why it is happening or reacting or doing something like this. Okay, and in those research you will see there are research gaps has been suggested by the researchers. So in those research, at the end part, you will say, okay, so this is what we have done, but because of this, we actually couldn't do this part. So maybe future research can do this, the next part of this research, or future research can develop in that particular manner. So there are each and every research is a common phenomena, is a common practice that they advise some future research suggestions, future research directions or advice. So this is very important source of the topic, where we can find the topic. And then we explore, maybe we can find a lot of research gaps from different research papers and theses, and then try to find out the suitable research gap that you can explore, that you can justify, the question that you can answer, right? So, or maybe in relation to, if it is a new issue, in relation to that particular issue, you can try to solve a particular problem in relation to that. If it is available, you can address that as well. What are the factors that we need to consider, or we may consider, in case of choosing a particular research topic? Broader issue that we need to consider are appeal of the issue, right? We can just say, okay, corporate governance in general, what the corporate governance practices in that particular industry may not be appealing to the people anymore, because there are hundreds and thousands of papers already explored those, right? So we should come out with the new things, new issue that be appealing to the people. People would be interested to read, and the journal, or the high quality journal, the quality journal would be interested to publish, right? And you can show, yes, this is what we actually need to do at the moment. It is appropriate. This is the time that we have to do, and obviously the availability of the researchers is important. So availability of the supervisor, most importantly, the researchers who will conduct the research is very, very important before we choose a particular topic, right? What's my understanding of that particular area, of that particular topic, is very important. If I don't know anything, it may be to some extent hard to continue or conduct research in that particular area. So own interest, supervisors or co-authors interest is important as well. So if it is a research paper you want to write, see, if you want to collaborate with someone, so it should be interesting to the people who with whom you want to do the research, who you want to work with. So it depends on your interest and the interest of other people, your supervisor's interest as well. So, and also you need to look at the contribution. What would be the contribution of this work if I do this? Um, so we should know what's happening, what already done, and then what we can contribute further, right? What would be the extension of the literature? What's not being done so far? right? How it will expand the theory, how it will expand the policies or the practice of the organization. This is what we need to say. If it is, if it has nothing to say, nothing to do, no, it is not. It is not worth doing job. And also, most importantly, we need to think whether we will be able to manage and practically execute the project. It's important, right? Whether we have the data. In some universities, the students, particularly undergraduate students, are not allowed to go for collecting primary data. So in that case, it is a practical hurdle for the student. They cannot go to collect practical data. And if any research question or the research need primary data to do to answer the research question, how you can execute, it's not possible. Yeah. So recently it happened. One student just submitted an ethics application under my supervision um, at undergraduate level. So wanted to say the attitudes of the stakeholders on environmental reporting or sustainability reporting. So attitudes, if you want to check, you need to go to the people and ask them, maybe survey or interview. But as an undergraduate student, you are not allowed to do that. So you cannot do it. Said, no, you cannot. You cannot. So to find a topic, you need to do thorough literature review. Make sure you or we collect all the relevant literature. If we don't collect the relevant literature, we miss something. Maybe the issue that has already been done in that paper. So it's not, or and then though we do the job, and after that we'll see, oh, it's already done. So make sure we collect the all relevant paper and see what has been done. And we can find a new regulation, new convention, new policies, new practice to find a topic. That's important. So what's the impact of this new policy on the industry? What's the impact of this? Or how it is executing, how it is happening? What's the impact of this policy, of this practice, of this convention, or the law to the people. So we can explore, we can find um, those topics because the whole thing is a kind of research gap. Solving a particular problem, you can try, or we can try to do that. Another or two other important sources of topic where we can find call for funding, right? So we can see funding applications are called. So there are many new contemporary issues are identified um, in those calls. So we can see what are the new things, what are the issues people are interested in. People wants the research to be done on what issues. So that's very important we to look at. And also special issues, the journals publish special issues and they call for paper. So and conference call as well. So they identify different new issues and ask for the authors to write the papers on those issues. So these are the important source of topic as well. So if we come to the literature review, this is what the first thing that we need to do before if you start a research on any particular topic. It doesn't matter if it is a paper or it is a dissertation. We should start with the literature review. As I just mentioned, we should find out the relevant literature, right? And then we should read them and understand them, and then find out the research gap. This is what the purpose of the literature review, what already done and what we based on which we can do in future, what need to be done. Okay, and also this literature actually help us if it is quantitative research to find out or to articulate our hypothesis as well. So we need to how we can find the relevant literature. We can search different databases, the publishing bodies, publishing websites, and also more specifically, we can see if we want to study a particular issue, we can find relevant journals on that particular issue. That's important to look at as well. So we can say, so if we want to do interdisciplinary research in accounting or in management, we can see what are which journals or high quality journal publish this kind of study. So look at that journal first and foremost and see what they have published on that particular issue. It's very good sources of relevant, high quality research to find. Okay, and another thing in general, you can search on Elsevier or Emerald or Sage. Go to their website and search the topic that you're interested in, and you can find relevant literature. And you can search in Google Scholar as well, and you can you can for filter it for specific issues. You can filter it for the latest years. So you can see the latest papers has been done or have been done on this particular on a particular topic. We can search on Scopus as well, PubMed or Web of Science or JSTOR. But most importantly, wherever you search, it is vital. It is very important that you use appropriate words in searching, right? If you don't use appropriate words, then you may miss some important study that has been already done on that particular issue. So that's very critical. So you can you can use different synonyms to find out those, and also um, many ways you can find out this kind of study, or the studies of the research happened or already done on a particular topic. So the second thing, usually, sometimes we write a separate section on context. I'll tell about that. But and then we may write another section for theoretical frameworks. But the most vital thing, but sometimes some research doesn't have theoretical framework. Some paper doesn't have separate context, but most important, another most important component is the research methods. We'll talk about the theory and the context after. Research method is one of the vital and significant sections that we need to write. So the research methods or research methodology is a section, is a chapter that we where we write or where we explain the whole process of the research from the beginning, when we start the research, and where we end, in between what we have done, how we have done, why we did this, all this process, justification, all these arguments and explanation we should provide in the method section. So it is the process, or it's the whole procedure what we followed in our research. We should provide in the method or methodology section. And the method section can have different subsection as well. If it is a, say, dissertation, you can write in details, but if it is a journal article, it's very concise, very limited word limits or page limits. So we can concise many things. But if it is a dissertation, you can give subsections as well. So we can write research design, what are the models, what are the equations we used, research settings, what are the settings, or who are the what are the data sources, primary data, secondary data, what are those data, how we have collected those data, why we have included or collected those data, what are the materials, what are the documents that we analyzed, we used, where we collected the opinion from, who are the participants, where you got the interviews, okay, why we have taken these people to participate, right? So we can specify and also write why we have included these, what are the inclusion criteria, what are the exclusion criteria, why didn't we include other people, other organization, other things. So you need to make some, we need to write in detail the parameters, the criteria that we used, and the process and the procedure, whether the process that we took are reliable. We need to test, we need to provide that yes, this is how it was robust, how it was comprehensive, how detailed it was, the process that we use. We need to make sure that we provide the details, what the process we actually used. And also, what are the statistical analysis we did? Why did we choose this statistical analysis? And also the ethics is very important in different universities. We need to get the ethics approval before we go for interviews or collecting data. So if it is approved by an university, what are the details of the ethics application? And we need to provide all those in a separate subsection if we can. I think it's becoming kind of a big video. Maybe I can do the next part or the remaining sections in a separate or the second part of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you will enjoy the next part of the video as well, because it includes the abstract introduction, theoretical frameworks and everything, and of how we can write the findings and sections as well. Thank you so much.